European kids getting ready for another school year. American kids getting ready for another school year.
So bad. The amount of jokes that come out from just guns is... USA versus Europe memes. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's been a long day. I'm extremely sunburnt. I don't know if you can see how red I am right now. Was out by the lake at a fantastic time, but I'm home. I just want to chill, relax, and laugh a little bit. So we're gonna check out these USA versus Europe memes. All right, buckle up. Let's go.
Punching a wall in the US versus in EU. Europeans when they see Americans. No free healthcare.
That's 100% true.
Europe is asleep. These are called chips, and these are called... No, they're not. We are not asleep. I feel bad for you, said
What?
Europe. These are called chips, and these are called... No, they're not. We are not...
I know, it's so fun. The whole, like, you guys calling fries chips thing is... Yeah, it is what it is.
Bad for you, said Europe. I don't even think about you at all, said America. Americans when it's 90 degrees outside versus Europeans when it's 90 degrees. Who even you?
That is 100% true. It was like probably like 90 degrees today, and it was 75% humidity here in Tennessee. You feel like you're in a swamp. It's pretty intense. But I think I saw like an article, or not like an article, it was like a posting on X. I think in Britain they were having like a heat wave, and I think it was like equated to like 78 degrees Fahrenheit for us, which like it was almost 90 today.
Americans when it's 90 degrees outside versus Europeans when it's 90 degrees. Who even uses Celsius? Like, how extra? Places which use Celsius versus Fahrenheit. You guys are extra. Medieval Europe versus
right.
medieval Europe in movie/documentaries. Europe. Americans
hold on,
medieval Europe versus medieval Europe in movie/documentaries. Europe. Americans naming cities. Europe. New city name.
Oh, that's so true.
Documentaries.
New
Europe.
York.
Americans
New
naming
England.
cities. Europe. New city name. The most expensive room per night in Europe versus America. Traveling to a
Oh god, that is so... He even said versus America and laughs a little bit.
The most expensive room per night in Europe versus America.
Versus America.
City name.
Hospital
The most
bed.
expensive room per
Hey.
night in Europe versus
Hey,
America. Traveling to a different country in a movie starter pack. USA, Mexico, India, Canada, South America, Scandinavia/Eastern Europe. Crossing
Wait, what? Traveling to a different country in a movie starter
Mexico,
pack. Okay,
India,
yeah.
Canada, South America, Scandinavia/Eastern Europe. Crossing USA versus Crossing Europe. 25-year-old European versus
I don't
25
even want to laugh at that right now with like the shit that our country does. It's fucking
USA
ridiculous.
versus Grass in Europe. 25-year-old
Cigarette
European versus 25-year-old American. I still
Hey, is that...
Grass in Europe. 25-year-old European versus 25-year-old American. I still can't believe Americans don't call car parks car park. What? Is that where you bring your car on weekends so it can play with other cars? No, it's where you park your car. Almost like an area of land. A lot, if you will, for parking cars. A parking lot. A car park. 100 acres of pizza are served in the US every day. Who the hell measures pizza in acres? USA. How Europeans see Americans. I've got to embrace the flag. I've got to sniff the flag. I've got to lick the flag. I've got to wash the flag. I've got to date the flag. And I've got to be the flag.
Oh my god. Oh gosh. It's so true.
I've got to wash the flag. I've got to date the flag. And I've got to be the flag. People who leave their phones set to military times are war criminals. How do you look at 405 and go, wow, I can understand that. Bootlickers, what's next? You gonna join the army? Recruit me? Americans be like, okay, I can't count past 12 actually. If I have a medical emergency, don't you...
Oh my gosh, Oh, my nose is killing me. All right, let's see if we can go back.
Americans be like, okay, I can't count past 12 actually. If I have a medical emergency, don't you dare call an ambulance. You better Uber my butt to the hospital because we are not about to pay $5,000 for a ride in the Wii U wagon. Everyone outside the USA laughing nervously. What?
All right, well, that's kind of not true because as long as you don't call the ambulance, you don't have to pay for it. If someone else calls an ambulance, they don't have to pay for it either. It's free. But if you like are at your home, you call one, which is still horrible that we actually get charged for that. But yeah, same thing like if a cop calls an ambulance for you, basically it's on the house, you know? So just when you're hurt, you just tell someone else to call.
Wii U wagon. Everyone outside the USA laughing nervously.
Right.
What? Hey Canadians, have fun at school tomorrow. Hey Americans, have fun paying your healthcare. Stop guys, we're friends, remember? Children, behave, else mother shall have to give the pair of you a bollocking. You couldn't beat 13 states. let alone 50. Lol, Australia doesn't even exist. Aussies are just spicier British people. What are flavorless British people? Just normal British people? What are Americans? Cheesy stuffed British people. Do British keyboards have a special pound key on their keyboards? How do you hashtag? Hashtag is over by the enter key. Don't you worry your little butt. What do American keyboards look like then? Oh, as an American, I can confirm this.
They're good. They're good though. Like, definitely something to poke fun at. It's wild.
I hate this word, bruh. Rural town in the US. A policeman is a rural town in the... I hate this word, bruh. Rural town in the US. A policeman is approaching you in Europe versus them approaching you in America. To be honest, Americans are so funny. They're like, OMG, there's a concert near my house. It's like a 3 hours drive. And Europeans are like, what? A 3-hour drive? Are you kidding me? I'm not going to France for that. Australians crying in the distance. Invent a new sport. Spread it globally. Be bad at it. Invent a new sport. No one else plays it. Declare world championship. An American pickup.
Hilarious. I just watched something on the World Cup and the Super Bowl. Pretty wild that we call like Super Bowl champions world champions when it's like, oh, you just won a game in America that nobody else is interested in.
Sport. No one else plays it. Declare world championship. An American pickup in Europe. Why is it so fat? The American who thinks that ship. An American pickup in Europe. Why is it so fat? The American who thinks that America sucks is moving to Europe. The European who thinks that Europe sucks is moving to America. Europe.
True.
Americans are so uncivilized and violent. Also Europe whenever someone scores a goal in soccer. It's kind of funny how so many Americans are convinced that every house over like 10 years old has a ghost. This house is 100 years old. People have died in here. Like, okay. Yeah, but in Europe, when they're like, someone has died here, they mean like 4 generations have lived peacefully and past of old age in this home. In America, someone died here is like, some dude locked his mom in the basement and she starved to death. People in Northern Europe with 12-degree weather. When Americans complain about heat, Europe, I'm in my 30s and don't have a car. We don't care. Get the bus. USA, I'm in my 30s and don't have a car. If you speak to us again, we will call the police. US Sports.
True, yeah, you gotta have a car. Doomed if you don't have a car.
I'm in my 30s and don't have a car. If you speak to us again, we will call the police. US sports fans. Mix us together in the crowd. It's all good. European fans. Me, an American, trying to chum up with Europeans together in the crowd.
Great context if you know this scene from Gangs of New York. Great movie, by the way.
Good. European
Hilarious.
fans. Me, an American, trying to chum up with Europeans. The Europeans. 20-year-old American boys. An American trying to chum up with Europeans. The Europeans. 20-year-old American boys. Mom, can I drink a beer? No, you are way too young. 15-year-old European boys. Dad, I'm getting a beer with the boys. Can I join? Americans, when Americans make fun of the United States. Americans, when Europeans make fun of America. Europeans to Americans. Europeans to Americans when they need military support.
Oh, that's so funny.
Europeans to Americans. Europeans to Americans when they need military support. How Europeans think of Americans who have a carry license. American chocolate. You think you're better than me. European chocolate. I am better than you. Americans be like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Americans be like, I'm gonna go watch a war movie. Americans be like, I'm gonna go eat an orange. Americans see a tree rodent and go, look, a squirrel. Americans be like, can you give me a glass of water? Europeans. I can't believe Americans don't use the metric system. Americans with 3 grams and a 9mm in their pocket. Europeans with cryptids. What whimsical creatures. Let's invite them in for tea. Thank you. We'd love some tea. Let us celebrate. Americans with cryptids. This is the last forest you're haunting, you son of a... I'm gonna smash your corpse when I'm done.
What are cryptids? What
you're haunting, you son of a... I'm gonna smash your corpse when I'm done.
Mystic
Europeans,
stuff?
when you ask them what they know about America. When you realize that the US... When I'm done.
I'm sorry, these are going so fast. I like barely have time. I'm gonna have to split this up in 2 videos. I'm like a third of the way through. Europeans, when you ask them what they know about America. Texas. Okay. Everyone knows Texas, right? I could guess the 3 states that Europeans know of America is probably Texas, California, and New York.
Ask them what they know about America. When you realize that the US is technically older than the UK. Europeans, when they see an American minding their own business. We are intellectually superior in every way. Europeans, strict gun laws. Americans, when Europeans find out that they created the American. No. Americans microwaving.
He said no.
Europeans find out that they created the American. No. Americans microwaving their tea. Britons drinking instant coffee. Europeans. Let's make memes about Americans. That'll show them. Americans. I'm sorry. Who are you again? Brits making fun of Americans for using feet. Also Brits when they use stones for weight. When you are British and your American friend says, let's play football, but then they bring an ellipse-shaped ball. I am a bit confused. The beginning of the American Revolution. You owe me like $1. You'll have to kill me for it. We're experiencing heavy snow. Massive snowstorm.
We're experiencing heavy snow, massive snowstorm.
Duh, more vodka. Looks like spring, eh? When I see British citizens mocking the president, I just remember that in 100 years, they went from ruling 1/4 of the world to living on an island the size of Michigan. So this is an American translator for what Americans say and what it means. I'm afraid of Americans. This is super real. Let's get coffee sometime means.
Awesome, good, fabulous, good, amazing, good, great, fine. That's funny. Fine is bad and okay is bad. These are hilarious. Oh, I just said hilarious. Unexpected. True.
Goodbye, I like you. Or let's stay in touch means goodbye, I don't like you that much. Today I learned Americans call a knob of butter a stick of butter. Wait, we call it a knob too. Who the hell calls it? We call it a knob. What? Those Americans are terrible with it. Wait, we call it a knob too. Who the hell calls it? We call it a knob. What? Those Americans are terrible with all of their shootings that happen. Meanwhile in Europe, Americans, when you tell them European isn't a country, shootings that happen. Meanwhile in Europe, Americans, when you tell them European isn't a country, confused, oonga boonga. American drivers trying to navigate the
Look, I get this one right here.
Americans isn't a country, confused.
Hold on. Americans, when you tell them European isn't a country, confused, oonga boonga. Okay, dude. Literally, every video I post, like if I'm speaking, like I think I did one recently on like football and I'm talking about the UK and then I say Europe, but I'm just talking about the topic of football because it's like big in the country, not big in the country, but it's big over on your continent and it never fails. Someone's always just blasts it in the comments like, Europe is not a country. I'm like, yes, I am not R-worded. Okay, I understand.
Just Oonga Boonga. American drivers trying to navigate the narrow streets of an old European city. How Europeans think Americans get to work. Literally true.
Gosh.
POV. 0.2 seconds after arriving in the USA. Americans. Why do Europeans think they're better than us? Europeans. USA. France, help me. France. Can't, I'm broke. It's against the British. France. What are Europe and America's views on gun safety? Europe says guns should be highly controlled and used only by responsible adults. America says if their age is on the clock, then they can use a Glock. How Americans see USA versus USA in reality. Olive oil Europe.
That,
a Glock.
okay.
How Americans see
Yes. So true.
USA.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Reality. Olive oil Europe versus butter Europe. Europe every couple decades. Father, I crave violence. Aliens visiting the United States versus aliens visiting Eastern Europe. Driving directions in Europe, 1922. Drives on the left, drives on the right. Mixed. Average USA.
Mixed? What?
22. Drives on the
That's
left,
crazy.
drives on the right. Mixed. Average USA hospital visit. This is horrible. This man has no insurance. I'm on it, doctor. They pushed him off. They killed him. Australian arrested in Australia. Australian arrested in Europe. European arrested in Australia.
Wait, what?
In Australia. Australian arrested in Europe. European arrested in...
All right, this must be a European thing, or like an Australian thing, because I don't get it. What? Has to do something with him being flipped upside down, like his viewpoint, but I'm lost. Help me in the comments. Explain that to me.
In Australia, toilet in Europe versus toilet in India versus Amber Heard's toilet, speed cameras anywhere else, speed cameras in Eastern Europe, how Americans see Europe, speed cameras anywhere else, speed cameras in Eastern Europe, how Americans see Europe, it's too far away, we can't. Americans simply cannot conceive of how gloomy Europe is. Wow, so UK is horrible. Let's go. At 19 years old in America, Europe is. Wow, so UK is horrible. Let's go. At 19 years old in America. Can I buy a bottle of vodka? USA. No, that's illegal and irresponsible. Can I go $50,000 in debt for education? We encourage it. American Impossible Challenge. Americans tried to name this country challenge. Impossible. Americans literally have no bands.
Wait, hold on. Oh, it is impossible. I was going to say Portugal, but I see it right there. Why am I having such a brain fart on this? Oh, God. Now I'm embarrassing myself. All right, let's keep going.
challenge.
Get me away from
Impossible.
it.
Americans literally have no banter. I don't know what country this is coming from, but we've probably beaten you in a war at some point. I'm
Oh,
American. Civil War. America. I'll kick anyone's butt. I'll kick your butt. I'll kick your dog's butt too. I'll even kick my own butt. Remember that time it got so hot in some parts of Australia? The bottoms of people's thongs were literally melting to the asphalt, and people still ask me why I hate summer. For Americans reading this post, a thong is a flip-flop. A flip-flop. Oh. Racism in Europe versus racism in America. Europeans.
Racism in Europe.
Oh. Racism in Europe versus racism in America. Europeans memeing on Americans. Europeans being memed on by Americans. Anti-curfew
Yeah.
riots in the Netherlands. America. Europe. Netherlands.
Anti-curfew riots in the Netherlands.
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the Americans. Europe is better because we...
Hold on.
Netherlands. Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the Americans. Europe is better because we have social benefits. That's only possible because the US rebuilt Europe. So the evolution of
gosh.
cars for USA, Germany, and Russia. 100 years in the future. USA, Michigan versus Norway. How the rest of the world...
Wait, what?
100 years in the future.
USA, Michigan versus Norway. What? Just like a filter over it with... I think I get it.
Michigan versus Norway. How the rest of the world sees the USA. Los Angeles. What? Disney World. Yeehaw. New York. Being bilingual in
Yeah,
America versus
about
being
right.
bilingual in Europe. I thought it would be the opposite. No, it has to be, right? It's the opposite. Europe's so good they made a sequel. History books. History
so
books
good
if
they made
Europe
a
has
sequel.
Europe's so good they made a sequel. History books. History books if Europe had natural resources. Salesman slaps USA. You can fit so many idiots in this bad boy. Hunting in Mexico versus hunting in Australia versus hunting in USA. Everything's
my
better
God.
with explosives. I've always scoffed at this. OMG, Europe is tiny post. But we just took the wrong exit driving back to our cabin, and we literally ended up in Norway and decided to just stay for dinner. So yeah, this just happened again. There isn't even a sign that says welcome to Norway. You're just there all of a sudden. I could miss an exit and still stay in my state for another 8 hours. Americans, cricket is a dumb game. USA wins one match. Americans, oh mercy me. I keep forgetting I'm in the colonies. My favorite post. Please tell me that people in Britain actually call the USA the colonies. We call you the colonies. We don't call you the colonies.
Oh, I was just going to say, I wish they did call us the colonies. That would be hilarious.
40 minutes to the Netherlands for some groceries, and then popped into Germany to see some of my relatives before driving back home. Americans. I was in Florida. I drove for 9 hours. Now I'm still in Florida. I have a deep respect.
So true. Oh my gosh, I go to Florida, and from Tennessee to Florida, where we go, we don't even go like all the way down to like Miami, which is like at the bottom. We just drive from Nashville to like a little bit lower down, and it's like 13 hours. It's insane. And you're in Florida. We drive through Florida for like 6 of it, so.
I was in Florida. I drove for 9 hours. Now I'm still in Florida. I have a deep
Yeah.
respect for Scotland because I was at an Ireland versus Scotland football match, and their chant was, "We hate England more than you." One time at a Germany versus Scotland game, some German fans started the "Stand up if you hate England" chant, and the whole stadium stood up. What did we do?
Dang.
What didn't we do? Does this mean that England is the US of Europe? Where do you think the US got it from? Go for a walk. The scenery will cheer you up. People in Eastern Europe. USA.
Oh,
You're going
gosh.
to make a League of Nations. Europe. And you're going to join it, right? USA. You're going to join it, right? But mom, you're going to join it, right? USA. You're going to join it, right? But mom. Can someone translate this? I don't know British. I'll do my best. Ahem. Hey, yo, ma. It's mum, not mum. It's chips, not crisps. It's fries, not chips. It's color, not color. It's soccer, not football. Wrong. Why is it cancelled
Yeah.
in the UK, but cancelled in America? Oh, I actually know the answer to this one. American newspaper ads charged by the letter, so a lot of people would eliminate unnecessary letters like the second L in cancelled or the U in color. Some of these spelling changes we
this
use
true?
so often that they stuck, and now Americans just spell some words differently. In summary, Americans spell things weird because of capitalism. Another weird Australia fact.
Wait, that's pretty crazy. If that's true, that's wild.
In summary, Americans spell things weird
Because
because
of
of capitalism.
newspapers?
Another weird Australia fact. We are the only country that ever cancelled a boat race due to the lake being wet. Please elaborate. The
What?
Henley on Todd is a screw you boat race made to poke fun at the English's Henley on Thames. The Todd River is dry most of the time, and as a result, it hosts the only dry river regatta. Behold the chaos, UK.
Oh my
Everything the light touches is our kingdom, USA. Colonies. colonies. But what about that shadowy place? You must never go there. Americans. Talking smack to the US. Other Americans. Yeah, we suck. Europeans. Talk smack about the US. Americans. America. Europeans.
Yeah.
Universal.
You know, like they have like put this in our mind from when we're born. Like we do, like we're always like saluting the flag and stuff here in America. I'm sure other countries do it as well. Let me know if your country does. But even like as I've gotten older and like my views on the world have expanded and kind of just, you know, like finally saw like the truth of everything, and I was like, oh, when the curtain comes from the wizard behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. Still though, to this day though, like when stuff starts happening and America is like involved in it, there's like this little thing in the back of your head that's like, no, America, like it's 100% real.
Europeans.
It
Talk
doesn't
smack
go away.
about the US.
You have to fight
Americans. America. Europeans. Universal healthcare. Americans. Europeans asking Americans where Wasplakshazvestovich is. Europeans when Americans ask where Nebraska is. British cheddar versus American cheddar. Europeans arriving in
British
where
cheddar.
Nebraska is. British cheddar versus American cheddar. Europeans arriving in NYC, wondering why the homeless dude pooping in a 7-Eleven cup wasn't included in their pamphlet.
What? This was not included? Nice addition, though.
Europeans, when someone mentions American healthcare, you'd rather
Yep.
spend taxes on guns than healthcare? Laughs in public healthcare. How Europe sees USA.
what? I
Spend
missed that last
taxes
part.
on guns than healthcare? Laughs in public healthcare.
Laughs in public health.
How Europe sees USA. This is how USA sees Europe. Yeah.
Hold on. England, Germany. USSR, Russia, Athens, Greece. Jesus. What does this one say? Food land? I don't know. It seems like Croatia. That's hilarious. Okay, so this is what you guys see. McDonald's up in the north. Roads. Yeah, there's a lot of roads. Washington isn't the capital city. New York. Land of virgins. Land of virgins? Oh, this is great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm glad we are just England. That's nice. I think Americans have spent long enough making fun of British accent. We need to stop making fun of our own accent. Americans be eating crayon berries. Americans be paying $20 for a crate of water bodies. Americans offered two choices. They have no real preference between like 24 matter. I don't think American filmmakers realize how huge London is, because you sure have the London Eye and Houses of Parliament, but when you say London has fallen, what? So the Nando's in Catford is in flames. The Tesco in Peckham has descended into chaos. We have states bigger than your entire country. Europe, but without the... Guys, you're literally killing me. Well, thanks whoever made this meme. Japan, the USA, fighting in Europe, fighting in Africa. The State Department whoever made this meme. Japan, the USA, fighting in Europe, fighting in Africa. The State Department nailed my girl's passport. Want to know just how
Oh my
big fighting in
gosh.
Africa? The State Department nailed my girl.
Oh, that's bad. Oh my gosh. Do you return it or do you just keep it? I'd probably keep it. It would be fun.
Passport. Want to know just how big Texas really is? This is actually mind-blowing. I don't get it. That's Europe inside Texas. Texas isn't actually that huge, is it? France? United Kingdom relations. England? Screw you. France? Screw you. History of the Middle East. History of Europe. History of USA. History of USA is like a DLC of Europe history. Why divide people by irrational things when you could divide them by whether their word for cotton candy is valid or not? Examples.
What?
American English. Cotton candy. Good. British English. No, we don't call it fairy floss. We just call it candy floss. And that is valid. Spanish and German. Sugar cotton.
Sugar cotton.
Good. French. Daddy's beard. Not valid. I'm sorry. The French call it what?
Daddy's beard? What? They call cotton candy Daddy's beard? That's hilarious.
Good. French. Daddy's beard. Not valid. I'm sorry. The French call it what? Americans. Explaining why they don't want free healthcare because they get to skip the waiting times. Europeans with identical insurance at a fraction of the cost because it has to compete with the free one. Napoleon wants money for war with England. Thomas Jefferson wants to purchase Louisiana. British bank offers to lend Thomas the money. Thomas Jefferson borrows the money and buys Louisiana. Declares war on Britain with the Louisiana money. We can do both metric and imperial measurements. It's not difficult at all. Europeans making fun of Americans for using imperial measurement. Americans running the 100-meter dash, buying liters of soda, grams of drugs, and kilos of other drugs. British versus American. Favorite, and spelled very incorrectly by the American. Prince Harry officially renounces British residency. Lists US as his new country on document. A literal British monarch changing his alliance to the United States. We've never been more back. Afternoon. Hey, how are you? Fine, how about you? I'm good. You're from Maine? I'm rotated in Europe right now, so the 1900 miles away threw me off. Where's that? mean or Europe? Europe. Where the hell is that? It's across the ocean. The USA shouldn't police the world. Totally agree. That includes removing troops in Europe, letting Europe defend itself. But I won't be able to afford all of my social policies then, because increased military spending. Wait,
Oh, a little truth to that one.
why are these memes like on America's side? I'm British! No! Forget this meme, it never existed.
Oh, I like how he saved that one for last. That's funny. Oh, gosh. All right. I had a good laugh. Appreciate you guys hanging with me through that. That was good. That was long, though. Holy cow. My face hurts from smiling for so long. Hey, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one. Appreciate you guys. Bye.